The film opens up in early 1900s Paris, inside a cinema hall where a new film is on show. The hall's projectionist, a shy young man named Émile Petit, is in the technical area, making sure everything runs smoothly. However, as the film rolls on, he slowly begins to doze off. On the big screen, a collection of black and white scenes capture the situation of Paris, which is going through unprecedented floods, which will later be known as the Great Floods of 1910. The news reports that due to continuous rainfall, the River Seine has breached all safety barriers. Water has risen 20 feet above the normal levels in the city. People in many places, including the visitors of the Eiffel Tower, are knee-deep into water. While most people commute through homemade boats or wooden bridges, only the people in Montmartre Hill have some dry place to go. The scene then abruptly shifts to Émile, who is filming his crush, a gorgeous lady named Maud. They are casually walking through the local zoo, chatting about their newfound love. Maud is slightly unhappy that it took Émile 2 years to profess his love towards her. She regrets that they could have spent this time together. However, the young man reveals that he was afraid she would have rejected him had he confessed his love earlier. He, nonetheless, has no regrets and promises that nothing will keep them apart from now on. As soon as he says these words, a giant crocodile lunges forward from the zoo's pond. It gulps down the picnic basket that Maud had prepared for them. The beast then wriggles out of the pond, causing the young couple to run in separate ways. While Émile manages to take shelter behind a nearby tree, Maud trips and falls on the ground. The giant crocodile begins to walk towards her, and things don't look good for the poor girl. Suddenly, Émile steps in between the beast and his crush, armed with nothing but an umbrella. He bravely taps the snout of the crocodile, trying to scare it away. However, in a bizarre turn of events, the crocodile spews a ball of fire which the human couple barely dodges. Émile is convinced the creature in front of them is not a crocodile but a dragon, while Maud questions how a dragon got inside Paris. This is when Émile jolts back from his sleep and we realize that all of these events were happening in his dreams. In fact, he had dozed off in the middle of a show and only woken up by the smell of the burning projector belt. He quickly cuts the burning fragment and replaces it with a new one, allowing the audience gathered to watch the movie in peace. After the screening is over, Émile goes out to buy a new extra pair of belts for his projector. It is then that we see that Maud also works in the same theater as a receptionist. He timidly approaches her like every other day and tries to chat with her. From the way Maud looks at Émile, it can be seen that she too fancies the shy projectionist. Their conversation, however, is interrupted by Émile's best friend, Raoul. He is an uber-confident delivery driver who likes to invent things in his spare time. Raoul hands Émile a roll of film for a new movie and asks if he wants a lift. The latter, who is trying and failing to ask Maud out for a date, eventually says he does want a lift. The two friends then leave the film behind with Maud and head to the city. As the two drive, Émile chastises his friend for interrupting his attempt to ask Maud out. Raoul questions if he was simply planning to do it like hundreds of previous times or was actually going to do it. Émile has no answer as he realizes that he wouldn't have the courage to ask her out. Nonetheless, the boisterous Raoul suggests a better way to convey his feelings, by writing a love letter. Following this, the two friends drive around the city where Raoul collects various items that he needs to deliver. It is obvious that he is a carefree individual whose reckless driving is infamous all over Paris. He soon drops Émile at a local camera repair shop and heads nearby to run errands. Émile, who had come to buy an extra projector belt, sees a state-of-the-art camera placed in the store. He immediately drops everything he is doing and starts ogling it. When he comes out of the store, we see that Émile has bought the camera as he starts recording the streets of Paris. However, their outing takes an unexpected turn when a brazen thief swiftly snatches Émile's coveted camera. Providentially, the thief's escape is thwarted as he collides with Raoul's car door, which gracefully swings open. Seizing the opportunity, Raoul extends an invitation to Émile, suggesting they deliver a package to its intended recipient. After a while, they arrive at an ancient edifice once inhabited by a renowned professor. To their surprise, the premises appear deserted, save for a mischievous monkey named Charles, who dutifully served as the professor's assistant. The professor had left a message instructing visitors to leave their orders outside as he was away on a journey. However, disregarding the professor's directive, Raoul defies conventional wisdom and ventures inside. The interior reveals a mesmerizing botanical garden, capturing Émile's imagination. Armed with his new camera, Émile eagerly documents the enchanting sights that unfold before him. Within the confines of the professor's dwelling, they discover a hidden laboratory replete with intriguing formulas and concoctions. Seizing the opportunity, Raoul, with his audacious spirit, suggests they experiment with the formulas. They test various potions, including one that promised mellifluous melodies and another that claimed to enhance plant growth exponentially. Enthralled by the possibilities, Raoul decides to apply the super fertilizer on a majestic sunflower. Initially, their excitement soars as the sunflower grows at an astonishing rate. However, their joy is short-lived as the colossal sunflower begins to sway precariously. Frantically, Raoul struggles to prevent its collapse, but inadvertently spills and mixes some of the potent formulas. When wisps of smoke envelop the room, Emil's gaze fixates on an eerie and chilling presence. However, before he can grasp its true nature, the mysterious figure vanishes into thin air. Puzzled and shaken, Emil turns to Raoul, seeking solace and understanding. Yet, to his surprise, Raoul adamantly denies seeing anything out of the ordinary, dismissing Emil's concerns. Reluctantly, they depart from the unsettling place, leaving behind unanswered questions that linger in the air. Their path leads them to encounter a captivating figure, Lucille, a club singer renowned for her mesmerizing voice. Lucille, a stunning woman with a voice that could move hearts, happens to be Raoul's childhood companion. That evening, as the enchanting notes of Lucille's song fill the air, everyone in the vicinity finds themselves in awe of her talent. Lucille resides with her aunt, who also happens to be the proprietor of the club where she performs. In a quiet corner of the city, a couple strolls leisurely through a narrow alleyway, relishing in the intimacy of their evening walk. Suddenly, their serenity shatters as a ghastly figure materializes before them, sending shockwaves of fear through their beings. Overwhelmed by terror, they can hardly believe their eyes. The following day, the husband valiantly reports the encounter to the local police, hoping for answers and reassurance. Sadly, like many similar cases, his plea falls on deaf ears as the authorities disregard his account. This is when Maynot enters, the formidable police chief of Paris, known for his ostentatious pride and unwavering arrogance. News of the eerie figure eventually reaches his ears, arousing both his curiosity and political ambitions. Recognizing the opportunity to garner attention and sway public opinion in his favor for the upcoming mayoral election, Maynot promptly orders his trusted assistant to delve into the matter. He sees this investigation as a chance to showcase his leadership and further his aspirations for power. Meanwhile, the police embark on a meticulous examination of the professor's laboratory, hoping to unearth clues that could shed light on the perplexing occurrences. During their search, they stumble upon a stray piece of film inadvertently dropped by Emil during his earlier visit. In a different location, Emil, unaware of the unfolding events, decides to review the video footage he had captured within the laboratory. To his astonishment, he discovers a glimpse of the monstrous being recorded amidst their experiments. Raoul, appearing suddenly, shares in Emil's astonishment as they both come to a chilling realization. They had unknowingly unleashed a terrifying creature upon the world. In the midst of their revelation, the police arrive on the scene, seizing the opportunity to apprehend Emil and Raoul. Lucille's aunt and her ceaseless attempts at matchmaking continuously seek to unite Lucille with the police chief, Maynot. However, Lucille shows no interest in Maynot, recognizing him as an individual consumed by arrogance and self-importance. In a rather peculiar circumstance, Russell finds herself having lunch with Maynot. Much to her chagrin, her aunt's insistence had coerced her into this uncomfortable encounter. As they engage in conversation, delving into topics of little interest or connection, an interruption abruptly shatters the monotony. Maynot's diligent assistant hastens to his side, bearing news of 3 apprehended suspects tied to the enigmatic monster. Astonishingly, the assistant also disclosed the startling truth. The monstrous entity was in fact a product of Charles the Monkey's flea, inadvertently subjected to a potent magnifying potion. Raoul, consumed by anxiety at the prospect of imprisonment, trembles at the uncertain fate that lay before him. However, much to their surprise, Maynot harbors no intention of incarcerating the 2 individuals. Instead, he presents them with an unexpected honor, a prestigious award medal. Maynot recognizes the pivotal role Emil and Raoul unwittingly play in providing him with an opportunity to earn the trust of the community and embraces the chance to highlight their contributions. In a separate location, Lucille embarks on a quest to find a new musician to join their band. Albert, a hopeful candidate, steps forward, eager to showcase his musical prowess. However, to Lucille's dismay, Albert's abilities fall far short of her expectations. With a heavy heart, she has to deliver the disappointing news of rejecting his application. As Albert leaves the premises, little does he know that an encounter with the flea monster awaits him, instantly throwing him into a frenzy of terror. Fear propels him to flee from the creature's presence. Curiosity piques. Lucille ventures outside her abode, drawn by the strange noises that reverberate in the air. To her horror, she is greeted by the alarming sight of the flea monster. Overwhelmed by fear, she swiftly retreats indoors, securing the door behind her. Yet, amidst her panic, she catches a faint melody emanating from the creature. Surprisingly, the monster's melodious voice, filled with melancholic longing, dissolves Lucille's trepidation. It becomes clear to her that the monster harbors no malicious intent. Moved by compassion, Lucille approaches him, extending an invitation into her sanctuary. She christens the creature Franca, a name that embodies his sincere and pure-hearted nature. Aware of the dangers posed by the authorities, Lucille devises a plan to disguise Francoeur's appearance, ensuring he resembles a regular human, thus safeguarding him from recognition and potential capture. Within the confines of their newfound haven, an old grand guitar catches Francoeur's attention. Intrigued, he feels compelled to reach out and attempt to play its strings, his fingers dancing with ethereal grace. Shortly after, Raoul and Emile pay a visit to Lucille at the club, proudly flaunting the award medal they have received. However, Lucille's joy turns into suspicion, as she cannot help but entertain the thought that they have perhaps stolen the medal. As they return to the room, a surprising sight awaits Lucille, her aunt in the company of Francoeur. To her astonishment, her aunt marvels at Francoeur's innate musical talent, despite having learned to play in a matter of minutes. Delighted by his skills, Lucille's aunt suggests that Francoeur would be a perfect accompaniment to Lucille's singing. Unwilling to accept this proposition, Lucille urges Francoeur to leave the premises. However, Francoeur defies her request, remaining steadfastly on the stage. As the curtains lift, the audience finds itself captivated by the extraordinary scene that unfolds before them. Francoeur's masterful guitar playing harmonizes flawlessly with Lucille's enchanting voice. A sense of awe permeates the air as the audience becomes entranced by the mesmerizing sounds emanating from the stage. The collective gasps of surprise soon transform into thunderous applause, showering Lucille and Francoeur with well-deserved praise. Following their performance, Raoul and Emile approach Lucille and Francoeur to offer their heartfelt congratulations. However, their hands meet with an unexpected surprise when they shake hands with Francoeur. The bewilderment fills their expressions until Lucille intervenes, assuring them that Francoeur is not a malevolent monster, but rather a gentle being gifted with a melodious voice. Unbeknownst to them, Albert has been eavesdropping on their conversation. The following day, Maynot takes center stage at a press conference, declaring his intention to execute Franca by drowning him in a river. Maynot highlights the flea's aversion to water as the basis for his ruthless plan. Furthermore, he offers a substantial reward to anyone who provides information regarding the monster's whereabouts. In a surprising turn of events, Albert steps onto the stage, divulging the location of Francoeur. Meanwhile, Raoul and Emile rush to inform Lucille about the dire situation. Before joining them, Emile makes a detour to see Maud, delivering a heartfelt letter inviting her on a date. Juan's joy is palpable as she reads the contents of the letter, her spirits lifted by the unexpected gesture. Upon arriving at Lucille's home, they find themselves met by a group of policemen. Maynot, determined to apprehend Francoeur, forcefully conducts a thorough search of the premises despite Lucille's vehement objections and attempts to block their entry. Luck is on their side as Francoeur remains hidden from their prying eyes. Maynot reluctantly offers an apology for the intrusion, while Albert faces arrest under allegations of providing false information. With Maynot's departure, the trio cautiously emerges from their hiding place, contemplating the daunting task of saving Francoeur. They realize that the only hope lies in restoring Franca to his original form, a task only the professor can accomplish. However, Lucille reveals her cunning plan, suggesting an alternative path towards Franca's salvation. The following day, Maynot commences his campaign in the bustling city. Raoul and Emile are present at the event, while Maynot extends an invitation to Lucille to perform on stage. Seizing this opportunity, Emile initiates their carefully crafted plan by offering Maynot a potion, claiming it is an antidote to the flea monster. Maynot, eager to save face and prove himself a hero, readily believes Emil's words and administers the potion to Francoeur. Suddenly, Raoul's voice pierces through the crowd, alerting everyone to the presence of the monster. Panic erupts, spreading like wildfire in the midst of the chaos. Francoeur bounds onto the stage, captivating the attention of the startled onlookers. Reacting swiftly, Maynot holds the potion given to him by Emile towards Franca. In an instant, Francoeur vanishes from the stage, leaving the audience bewildered. Raoul, quick-witted as ever, addresses the crowd, revealing that Franca has transformed back into a flea, encouraging them to applaud Maynot as their hero. However, Maynot's assistant, sensing something amiss, becomes suspicious upon discovering a secret chamber hidden beneath the stage. As the chamber door swings open, their worst fears are confirmed. Francoeur has sought refuge within. Swiftly, Francoeur makes his escape with Maynot relentlessly pursuing him, firing shots in a fit of rage. Lucille and the others immediately join the pursuit, determined to protect Francoeur. Maynot, filled with fury, gives chase in a hot air balloon, intensifying the race against time. In a dramatic turn of events, Maynot successfully intercepts their car, captures them, and leads them to the Seine River, intending to submerge them underwater. Miraculously, they manage to survive by finding refuge on a boat that allows their car to float. In the meantime, Francoeur makes a daring escape, seeking sanctuary within the grandeur of the Eiffel Tower. Lucille and her companions pursue him relentlessly, the stakes escalating with every passing moment. Meanwhile, Maud eagerly awaits the arrival of her beloved at the Eiffel Tower. To her astonishment, she encounters Francoeur in that very spot. Later, Lucille and the others reach the iconic landmark where Emile finally has the chance to meet the woman who has captured his heart. Together, they approach Francoeur, who appears weakened and diminished as the effects of the formula wear off. Shortly after, Maynot manages to corner them, determined to carry out his heinous plan to kill Francoeur. Lucille, driven by her compassion, bravely steps in to protect Francoeur, but Maynot callously pushes her, endangering her life. Raoul attempts to intervene, but in a tragic turn of events, both he and Lucille find themselves hanging precariously, their lives hanging in the balance. In a desperate moment, Raoul recalls the sunflower seeds he has taken from the laboratory earlier. He drops the seeds into the river, giving rise to a towering sunflower that miraculously saves them from their perilous predicament. Despite their survival, it is too late. Gunshots echo in the distance, accompanied by Maynot's triumphant laughter, claiming he has succeeded in killing Francoeur. Lucille and her companions are overcome with grief. However, Maynot's jubilation is short-lived as his assistant arrives on the scene, not to aid him, but to arrest him. The assistant has received a direct order from the minister, charging Maynot with the chaos he has unleashed upon the city and the murder of Francoeur. In the aftermath, Lucille continues to grapple with her sorrow. Raoul, ever the supportive friend, attempts to console her, urging her to find solace in her music once more. Slowly, Lucille gathers her strength and ascends the stage. Suddenly, an unexpected occurrence unfolds. The sound of Francoeur's voice reaches her ears. To her delight, she discovers that Francoeur is alive, albeit transformed into a small form. Excitement surges through Lucille once more. Together they sing, uplifting the spirits of all who listen. Afterward, they seek the professor's assistance to restore Francoeur to his original size once more.